Have you ever wondered why jihad is often associated with violence and terror? In today's world, the term jihad has become a buzzword, frequently tied to narratives of conflict and extremism. This perception is largely shaped by media portrayals and cultural influences that depict jihad as a call to violence, propagating fear and misunderstanding. It's easy to get caught up in this narrative, especially when it's perpetuated so widely and persistently. But let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, is this image accurate? Is this what jihad really stands for in the context of Islam? Or could it be that we are victims of a misunderstanding, misled by a narrative that doesn't fully represent the truth? Is it possible that the concept of jihad has been misconstrued, its true essence buried underneath layers of misinterpretation and misconception? But is this the real meaning of jihad, or is it a misunderstanding? Stay tuned as we unravel the truth about jihad. Jihad, in its authentic sense, is far from violence. This is a statement that might surprise many given the common misconceptions surrounding the term. However, the true essence of jihad, as outlined in the Quran, is not about instigating conflict, but rather a peaceful, ideological struggle. The term jihad is derived from the Arabic word jahada, which means to strive, to exert effort. It is about striving for good, for justice, for moral and spiritual growth. It is about the struggle within oneself against negative inclinations, against ignorance, against injustice. This is the greater jihad, or what is known as jihad al-nafs, the struggle against one's own self. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, does not use the term jihad to refer to warfare or combat. Rather, it uses the term qital, a specific Arabic term for fighting or warfare. The Quran, in its numerous verses, emphasizes the importance of patience, perseverance, and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. For instance, in Surah Al-Baqarah, it says, "And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient." Furthermore, the Quran encourages Muslims to strive for goodness and justice, to stand up against oppression, but always in a manner that respects the sanctity of life and promotes peace. It states in Surah Al-Ma'idah, "O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm for Allah, witnesses in justice, and do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness." So when we talk about jihad, it is important to understand that it is not about war, but about striving for peace, justice, and the betterment of oneself and society. It is about personal growth and the promotion of a peaceful, harmonious coexistence. It's about the struggle to uphold justice, to spread knowledge, to resist oppression, and to strive for a better world. So jihad is not about war, but about striving for peace and justice. This is the message that we need to spread to correct the misconceptions and foster a better understanding of this deeply misunderstood term. But why do we then see movements labeled as jihad, promoting violence? This question arises from a stark contrast between the peaceful essence of jihad and the violent actions of certain groups. In modern times, we witness several movements claiming to carry out jihad, but their actions fundamentally diverge from the Quranic principles. These movements, often driven by political or territorial ambitions, misuse the concept of jihad to justify their violent methods. Let's take a step back and remind ourselves of the true meaning of jihad. In its purest form, jihad is an internal, peaceful struggle for self-betterment, a fight against one's own weaknesses, vices, and temptations. It's about standing up for justice, maintaining patience in adversity, and striving for the betterment of society. However, some contemporary movements have twisted this concept to fit their own agendas. They've weaponized the term, using it to fuel violence and propagate fear. This misuse of jihad is not only a misrepresentation, but also a distortion of its original peaceful, constructive essence. These movements often exploit the socio-economic vulnerabilities and political unrest prevalent in certain regions. They manipulate individuals, fostering a false sense of duty and righteousness, and push them towards violence. In doing so, they paint a distorted picture of Islam, one that's far removed from its teachings of peace, tolerance, and respect for human life. In the face of such misuse, it's crucial for us to understand the true essence of jihad. It's a call to strive for personal improvement, social justice, and peace. It's about fostering understanding, not fostering fear. It's about building bridges, not burning them. Remember, any interpretation of jihad that promotes violence and harm to innocent lives is a gross misuse of the term. It's a deviation from the Quranic principles and the peaceful teachings of Islam. These movements, unfortunately, distort the true essence of jihad. Let's strive to understand, promote, and live by the true meaning of jihad, a peaceful struggle towards self-improvement, justice, and a harmonious coexistence. The Quran and the Prophet Muhammad's life provide a clear understanding of jihad. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, is a beacon of peace and tolerance. It begins every chapter except one with the phrase, "In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful," setting the tone for its teachings. The Quran emphasizes patience and peaceful resolution of conflicts. It encourages Muslims to make peace their default state, to avoid aggression, and to only engage in conflict as a last resort. This peaceful message is echoed in the life of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet's life was a model of non-violence and peaceful propagation of faith. He was known to avoid confrontation and to promote harmony and goodwill. His life was a testament to the true meaning of jihad, a peaceful, ideological struggle. Let's delve deeper into this. The Prophet's life is filled with instances of tolerance, patience, and peaceful resolution of conflicts. When he and his followers faced relentless persecution in Mecca, he did not respond with violence but chose to migrate to Medina instead. This is known as the Hijrah, a pivotal moment in Islamic history, which was a strategic move to avoid conflict and preserve the peaceful message of Islam. Even in the face of provocation, the Prophet always chose the path of peace. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah is a prime example. Despite having a larger army, the Prophet chose to negotiate a peace treaty with the Meccans. This treaty, which seemed unfavorable to the Muslims at first, turned out to be a victory for peace and allowed Islam to spread in an environment free from conflict. There were times when the Prophet had to engage in battles, but these were always in self-defense and as a last resort. Even then, he set strict ethical guidelines for warfare, forbidding the killing of non-combatants, destruction of crops, and mutilation of bodies. True jihad, as reflected in the Quran and the Prophet's life, is a peaceful struggle for justice and truth. It's about striving to be better individuals, better communities, and a better world. It's about standing up against injustice, not with violence, but with wisdom, patience, and peaceful dialogue. The true spirit of jihad is not about spreading chaos and destruction, but about spreading peace and love. So what does this mean for us today? As we navigate through the complexities of the modern world, the true essence of jihad resonates more profoundly than ever. It's not about warfare or violence, but about the inner struggle to be better, to be just, to be peaceful. It invites us to strive for intellectual growth, to challenge and overcome our weaknesses, and to stand up for justice and truth. It's about fostering understanding and harmony in our diverse world. In an era marked by discord and misunderstanding, embracing the true meaning of jihad can guide us towards a more peaceful and equitable society. It's a call to action for every individual, regardless of faith or background, to actively contribute to the betterment of humanity. Remember, jihad is about striving for peace, justice, and truth, a message that is more relevant today than ever before.